Hello, boys and girls. This is your language arts lesson for Tuesday, April 7th, 2020. And so today we're going to look at the amazing words demand and firmly. So here you see them highlighted, demand and firmly. If you order someone to do something, you demand that he or she does it. So here's an example. Mom demands that I clean my room. The police demand that we move our car to a different parking space. So that's demand. Now let's take a look at the word firmly. Firmly means to do something in a way that uses steady power or strength. Mom firmly demanded that I clean my room. Or, I shut the door firmly. So those are two amazing words we're focusing on today. And let's take a look at these consonant blends for PH, GH, CK, and NG. When you blend PH together, you get the sound F. When you blend GH together, you get the sound G. And when you blend CK together, you get the sound K. When you blend NG together, you get the sound G. Now, let's blend these words. Photograph, photograph. Stocking, rough. Tougher, nephew. Graphing. Flung, sprocket, trophy. So, yeah, there you go. I've got some more consonant patterns here, and so these are some of your spelling words that follow the same consonant pattern. So let's blend these words. All right, number one is phone. You see that, PH. Number two is cough, cough. Number three, clang, clang. Number four, laugh, laugh. Number five, graph. Number six is tough. Number seven is rough. Number eight is enough. Number nine, ticket. Number 10, duckling. Number 11, photo. And number 12, backtrack. Okay, so those are most of your spelling words. We just have numbers 13 and 14 will be from your high frequency words. So this is page 425 in your Readers and Writers Notebook. You are now ready to complete this page on your own. Let's go over the directions. You're going to write a word to answer the riddles. So what rhymes with bone but starts with PH? So you're going to find a list word that rhymes with bone and starts with PH. And then for the bottom part of the page, you're going to write the list word that best fits each sentence. So go ahead and once you select your list word, read that sentence out loud, okay? Sometimes if you've made an error, you'll hear it pretty quickly if you're reading it out loud. This is page 294 in your reading street. So you're working on compound words. So let's take a look here. Word structure. When you are reading, you may come across a long word that you don't know. If the long word is made up of two small words, then it's probably a compound word. The two small words can help you figure out the meaning of the compound word. Number 1, look for the small words in the compound word. Number 2. Think of the meaning of each small word. Put the meanings together. Does this help you understand the meaning of the compound word? Number 3. Try the meaning in the sentence. Does it make sense? So now you're going to read Boris and Cloris. Use the meanings of the small words to help you understand the meanings of the compound words. So here we have words to write. Read Boris and Cloris. Write about what you like to do with a friend. Use the words from the words to know list. So go ahead and use these little words over here. And let's read this. Boris and Cloris. Boris, a mouse, lived on a farm. His home was in a haystack. He was bored. All he did was eat seeds. He longed for an adventure. At the far end of the cornfield was a small building. Boris wondered what was in it. He asked his friend Cloris to go exploring with him, but she said no. She wanted to stay near the farmhouse, so Boris went alone. When he got to the building, Boris climbed through a hole in a board. 2 girls were sitting on the floor talking. "Who will we allow in our clubhouse?" asked one girl. "Only the greatest and the truest of our friends," said the other girl. "We will play baseball after school. But look, there's a mouse in our clubhouse." The 2 girls tried to catch Boris. He raced for the hole. But where was it? "Over here, Boris," Cloris squeaked. Boris jumped through the hole, and they dashed across the cornfield. When they were safe at the haystack, Boris said to Cloris, "Thank you for coming after me." So go ahead and do the words to write, reread Boris and Cloris, and write about what you would like to do with a friend, and use the words from the words to know list. All right, so now you're going to work a little bit more with those compound words in your Readers and Writers Notebook on page 426. You are going to choose a word from column A and a word from column B to make a compound word for each meaning below. Write the compound word next to the meaning. So you're going to combine a word from each of these lists to make a compound word. A yard that belongs to a school is a schoolyard. Schoolyard would be number 1. Go ahead and do the rest of that page on your own. All right, kids, this is the main selection. This is the story, Horace and Morris, but mostly Dolores. So I'm going to play this for you right now.
Horace and Morris, but mostly Dolores. Genre: fantasy is a make-believe story that could never happen in the real world. What makes this story a fantasy? By James Howe. Illustrated by Amy Walrod. Question of the week: how can we be responsible friends and neighbors? Shh.
Horace and Morris, but mostly Dolores, loved adventure. They sailed the 7 sewers. They climbed Mount Everrust. They dared to go where no mouse had gone before. Horace and Morris, but mostly Dolores, never said, "This is something we shouldn't do." They said, "This is something we've got to do." And so there was almost nothing they didn't do. Horace and Morris and Dolores were friends, the greatest of friends, the truest of friends, the now and forever I'm yours sort of friends. And then one day, Horace and Morris had a decision to make. They didn't want to do anything without Dolores, but as Horace pointed out, a boy mouse must do what a boy mouse must do. Bet you can't say that 3 times real fast, Dolores said with a smile. Horace and Morris didn't even try. They didn't even smile. Goodbye, Dolores, they said. What kind of place doesn't allow girls? Dolores wondered as she watched her friends step through the door of the Mega Mice Clubhouse. Yikes! Downhearted, Dolores went on her way, alone. It wasn't long before Dolores had a decision to make. She didn't really want to do anything without Horace and Morris, but she figured a girl mouse must do what a girl mouse must do. She said this aloud 3 times, real fast, just to prove that she could. A girl mouse must do what a girl mouse must do. I'll bet Horace and Morris couldn't do that, she thought. But she wasn't smiling as she stepped through the door of the Cheese Puffs Clubhouse. Day after day, Dolores went to the Cheese Puffs. Day after day, Horace and Morris went to Mega Mice. They missed playing with each other, but as they said, a girl mouse must do what a girl mouse must do. A boy mouse must do what a boy mouse must do. Horace were sure their friendship would never be the same. But then, one day, Dolores made a different decision. I'm bored, she announced. The other girls stared. Anybody here want to build a fort? How about a Roquefort? The other girls booed. Okay, forget the cheese. I'm sick of making things out of cheese anyway. Let's go exploring. The other girls gasped. Phooey, said Dolores. I quit. If you quit, then I quit too, a small voice said from the back of the room. Outside, Dolores introduced herself. I'm Dolores. I'm Cloris, said the girl. Now, where can we go to have some real fun around here? Dolores thought and thought. I've got it, she said at last. Who wants to go exploring? With girls? Yuck! No way. I do. Me too. Can I come too, please? The 5 friends spent the rest of the day exploring. Cloris and Boris and Horace and Morris, but mostly Dolores. And the next day, they built a clubhouse of their own.
All right, kids. So here we have the Think Critically page. So Horace, Morris, and Dolores do a lot of things together. What do you and your friends like to do together? So I want you to just take a moment to consider that question. Number 2, what message do you think the author of this funny story is trying to give you? What do you think the author's trying to say? Well, why do you think the author chose talking mice and main character rather than as the main characters rather than people? I wonder about that too. How do things change for each main character? Where did these changes happen? And what happens in the story to bring the friends back together? So this says, look back and write. Look back at page 306. Why does Dolores change her mind about the clubhouse? Provide evidence to support your answer. I'm not going to assign this writing assignment right now because I have a different plan for your writing for the day. So before you go on, pause the tape and take a moment to read about the author and the illustrator. And now we are going to take a look at some different kinds of pronouns. So these pronouns, they, her, them, him, herself, these are pronouns that can stand in place for characters' names. So Horace and Morris are mice. Instead of naming these characters, you could use the pronoun they. They would stand in for more than one character. They are mice. Horace and Morris and Dolores are best friends. The pronoun her could stand in for Dolores because Dolores is a female character. Some people don't like mice. Mice means more than one mouse, and the pronoun them could stand in for mice. Most people like Dolores. Dolores is a female character, so the pronoun her could take the place of the name Dolores. Dolores told Dolores that the club was not fun. So Dolores told herself that the club was not fun. That would actually make more sense. Okay, so let's go on, and you are going to work on pronouns in your Readers and Writers notebook on page 427. So the pronouns I, he, she, and we and they are used as subjects of sentences. The pronouns me, him, her, and us and them are used after action verbs. The pronouns you and it can be used anywhere in a sentence. So Morris has cheese. He shares it. The pronoun he is the subject of the sentence, and the pronoun it is used after the action verb shares. Morris met Doris. Morris showed her the cheese. The pronoun her is used after the action verb showed. Underline the pronouns in parentheses that can take place of the underlined word or words. So you're going to do numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 on your own. You're going to underline the pronoun that would take the place of the underlined words. And finally, you are going to end your day with your writing assignment for the day. As I mentioned earlier, I had something else in mind for you. So you are going to use this story chart to write your own animal fantasy. So you have a place to put your name. You're going to put the title of the story. Now you don't have to start with the title. Sometimes the title will come to you while you're in the writing process. So over here, you're going to put the characters, and then you will write the beginning of the story, the middle of the story, maybe 3 things that happen, and then the end of the story. So make sure that you are using animal characters behaving as humans. So you will use the story chart, and then you will rewrite your story. This is one of those assignments that I do want you to turn in for a grade. It's a writing assignment. So you don't have to give me the story chart, but I do want to see your completed final draft of your writing assignment. So when you're done with that assignment, hand it to your parents and they will send it to me at commissarsclass@gmail.com. I know you guys are going to do a great job on this. So have fun with it. It should be a fun little story to write. Okay? I will see you at the Zoom meeting. Bye.